On May 16, 2025, a massive American B-52 bomber flew low over Riga, the capital of Latvia, right above the iconic Freedom Monument. This wasn't a mistake or just an air show. This was a clear message from the United States and NATO to the world, especially to one country, Russia. But what is the significance of this flyover? Why is a Cold War-era bomber still relevant, and what does this mean for global security? Let's break this down. Let's start with the facts. At exactly 12 p.m. on May 16th, a US Air Force B-52H Stratofortress flew low over Riga, Latvia's capital. It passed over the Freedom Monument, a powerful symbol of Latvian independence, and then over Lielvārde Air Base, Latvia's major military installation. This was not just an American bomber flying alone. It was escorted by fighter jets from NATO countries, all flying in a coordinated formation. This flyover was part of a wider US military mission called the Bomber Task Force Europe, a rotating deployment of American bombers in Europe aimed at increasing readiness, interoperability, and most importantly, sending strategic signals. So why did this happen? The official US statement says this mission was to demonstrate its commitment to NATO's eastern flank, countries that directly border Russia or are close to it. But the unofficial message is even more important. Since Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, tensions in Eastern Europe have skyrocketed. Countries like Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia, who are NATO members and share borders with Russia, have been nervous about being the next targets. This B-52 flyover was meant to reassure these nations. We've got your back, and also to tell Russia, we're watching and we're ready. Now, you might be wondering, why use the B-52, an aircraft first introduced in the 1950s? That's a valid question. But here's the answer. Despite being old, the B-52 is still a powerful symbol of American air power. It can fly more than 14,000 kilometers, carry up to 32,000 kilograms of weapons, including nuclear bombs, and stay airborne for more than 20 hours with refueling. In short, it's strategic, versatile, and intimidating, perfect for a mission like this. Its low-altitude flyover wasn't about combat, it was about presence. To visually show the people of Latvia and their adversaries that the US is willing to bring serious firepower to their defense. Let's talk about Latvia. Latvia is a small Baltic country with a population of under 2 million. It joined NATO in 2004 and shares a long border with Russia. This makes Latvia an important frontline state in NATO's defense strategy. Hosting this flyover gives Latvia two advantages. One, it boosts local morale, reminding citizens that NATO support is not just words, but visible action. And two, it sends a geopolitical message that even small countries have big allies. And remember, this isn't the first flyover. Similar missions have been conducted over Poland, Romania, and the Baltic Sea in recent years, but doing it right over Riga's Freedom Monument adds a symbolic layer: freedom, sovereignty, and Western unity. So, what happens next? From NATO's point of view, this is part of routine military cooperation. NATO says these flyovers help improve coordination among allies and show readiness. But for Russia, this is likely seen as provocation, a bomber flying just a few hundred kilometers from its border. In fact, Russia has previously complained about such missions, saying they escalate tensions unnecessarily. This is where things get tricky. These flyovers are meant to deter conflict, but they can also increase misunderstandings. It's a delicate balancing act between reassurance and escalation. In conclusion, the B-52 flyover over Riga is not just about planes or military drills. It's about strategic messaging. It's about telling allies you're not alone and telling adversaries we're ready. In a world that's becoming more unpredictable, such actions remind us how powerful symbols like a bomber in the sky can be in shaping global politics.